I would not want to compete with Tesla. Like, everybody's in such a bad position because they have inferior products and Tesla's price is getting in line. Now, margins, there's a lot of talk about, okay, they're reducing prices. What's going to happen with margins in a situation like this, right? The thing folks have to remember, and this is so important, is the fact is Tesla's, for so many of Tesla's components that go into the cars, raw materials, prices have dropped off a cliff over the past 6 to 9 months. Now, are they able to have, let's call it the cost of, what it takes them to produce a Model 3 and Model Y? Is it offsetting perfectly? I don't know about that. I'm not convinced of that. But let me show you a chart that's absolutely shocking, okay? This is lithium prices. Look where lithium prices have gone since they peaked in November. Off a cliff, okay? And so if you look at what's happened over the last 6 months or so, I mean, it's very clear that for Tesla, there's going to be a lot of things that go into making a new vehicle that is going to be just honestly in a better position for them. And it's going to help offset this difference between what Tesla's cutting prices and what maybe it goes into a Tesla. So remember who's running this company. Elon Musk and co. The guy knows what he's flipping flapjack and doing, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. He's proven nothing but that over, the past 20, 30 years. Guy knows what he's doing. And so if he's cutting price like that and you're expecting their margins to go to nothing, I don't know about that. That's all I'll say about it. I don't know about that. They're gonna likely just continue to take massive market share, and margins might be better than a lot of folks anticipate. Estimated Tesla order backlog potentially explains price changes. The total number of decreased everywhere besides in Europe. Okay, so these are the numbers they have in terms of Tesla. Okay, in terms of their backlog. And this is kind of, over the most recent time. And down to about 103,000 vehicles in backlog, right? Hi, everybody. Based upon my calculation, and I know it's like, wow, people really keep track of all this. Yes. Tesla's global order backlog was 103,000 units on March 16th. The table shows the detailed breakdown by region. I posted new updates on March 31st here. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's just, there's a lot of, the Tesla community is amazing, right? But obviously, Tesla's backlogs dwindled in a pretty epic amount, right? It's not down to what it was back in December, but it's certainly not what it was here. Now, do keep in mind, those early 2020 numbers, first half of 2020, I'm telling you, those weren't healthy. There was like Tesla had crazy amount of orders coming through, and they ultimately had some supply chain challenges. That wasn't great. I don't think they should ever have that sort of backlog again. That was just a very unhealthy time for the company. Do I think the backlog should be in the 100,000, 150,000 range? I think so. I think that's a healthy number. You always want to see Tesla with some sort of backlog. 400, 500,000 units is a little much. 100, 150,000 units, I think that's pretty normal for the company. However, the most important thing that is in some markets, the situation changed quite noticeably. According to Troy Tesla, in the United States, the estimated order backlog has decreased from 68,748, worth 42 days of waiting, to 53,731 in 36 days. In basically 2 weeks, that change. So this might be the thing we are looking for. We don't have the data for the end of March yet. Those numbers are published with some delay to the report, but another decrease would be a potential trigger in regards to this, right? This is the estimated order backlog in the United States for Tesla is about 53,000 as of right now. This is his more detailed number in regards to this. If you want to pause the video and check this out, obviously you can check it out here. So yeah, I hope you guys kind of enjoy just that piece there. And, in regards to this, like I said, the backlog, it's disappointing to ever see it go down. It's almost a scary thing, right? But at the end of the day, we know Tesla's, flying as far as production goes. So that's something to keep in mind there. Is C3AI. This is a stock that's up 108% this year. Is making people a fortune. And, with C3AI, a lot of debate around this one. I know Kramer came out and said, he's like, oh, it's just, whatever. He trashed the company, okay? He also did that with Palantir at the same exact time, right? But, you look at the numbers for C3AI. They're pretty impressive. 92 million, then 157 million, then 183 million, then 253 million. That's not, that's impressive, right? Now, the company is taking big losses, so that is something that is a negative for the company, and no one really wants a company that's taking losses right now. But, I mean, it looks like there's 12 analysts that cover the stock for the next couple of years, right? And, yeah, only 5% revenue growth this year, but they have them doing 20% revenue growth on average next year. So a nice reacceleration of growth for a C3 AI. So, I got to do more digging on this one and see what's here and see, obviously they're benefiting from the AI hype right now, let's be honest. But maybe they're going to be a real long-term big player in this market. I don't know. I'm going to have to do more digging here, but I can tell you, if they're going to scale up revenue like this and they, eventually get to $1 billion plus a year, they're a real player in this market long-term. And obviously artificial intelligence, we're still at the early days of this opportunity in terms of a revenue profit opportunity, early days. I mean, this is an industry that's, got 10, 20 years of just massive growth ahead of it in terms of the actual numbers. People have been working on artificial intelligence for a decade plus now at this point in time. But in terms of the revenue opportunity, we're at the infant stage of that. You look at a company like NVIDIA we just talked about, right? A company like C3 AI. I think companies like Palantir are still early days on AI. Obviously, ChatGPT is a crazy big opportunity. Look at how many paid users ChatGPT has now at this point in time. And think about that opportunity for Microsoft. Microsoft owns a huge portion of ChatGPT, so that's going to benefit Microsoft in a massive way. So anyways, folks, I mean, obviously exciting times there, okay? Tapestry, number 6 of 7 stocks making people a fortune in this market right now. The stock is up about 221% for us. And what's interesting about Tapestry is this is actually the biggest position in my dividends only account. And obviously everybody in the private stock group gets to see every move I ever make in this account. They get to see those portfolios. But I mean, not a lot of people even realize this is actually my biggest dividend stock in the dividend only account that I have in the private stock group. And so this is a position that's been doing tremendous for us. They own Coach, Stuart Weitzman, Kate Spade, some of those big higher end, I guess you can say, brands. Not as high end as like a Louis Vuitton or something like that. They're kind of in the more affordable for like the middle class, upper middle class and whatnot. But when it comes to this company, I mean, it's not just that it's been giving us great share gains on the stock over time, but the dividends have been phenomenal for the stock. And even right now, this company pays about a 3% dividend yield. Now, based upon some of the shares I bought in regards to the stock, I'm getting like a 10%-ish yield on some of the shares I bought for this company, right? Which is absolutely insane to think about. I can make like 10%-ish a year on just the shares I bought in terms of some of those lots of some of the shares, right? And that's just extraordinary to think, like, collect that money each and every year. And they actually have a lot of room to up the dividend if they choose to up the dividend in future years, which I wouldn't be surprised if they just kind of move the dividend up a little bit each and every year. So that's the power with dividend stocks. It's not just about those share price gains, but it's also about those dividends. And you just collecting that money. And then what do you do with that money? Instead of buying something with it, we can reinvest that money, right, into more shares and more shares. And it doesn't have to be in a Tapestry. Usually what I do is, let's say Tapestry pays me a big dividend. I'm not really necessarily interested in buying more Tapestry shares. So what I do is I just put that into my next dividend stock. Maybe it's a Target in this market, right? Maybe it's a Cheesecake Factory. Like, that's basically what I do with my dividends. Just funnel it right back into the next one, okay?